Hey guys, hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. So, if you guys are keeping up, we just did a live stream just a few minutes earlier where we talked about the outcome of the Mama June custody hearing, and that's kind of what everybody's calling it. Um, but it was not exactly a custody hearing. I explained it in that video. It was a hearing to determine if Anna Chickadee Carwell's ex-husband, Michael Carwell, could be deemed an equitable caregiver for Anna's oldest daughter, Caitlin. Um, Unfortunately, the judge said that he did not meet all of the requirements, even though I have looked at the requirements over and over again, and I can't find which requirement he does not meet. I am not the judge, so my decision does not matter. Um, but he was not given the equitable caregiver status, so therefore, he cannot move forward to fight for custody of Caitlin. So by default, June gets custody of Caitlin, which everyone kind of suspected. I've seen a lot of people saying, "Oh well, June is in Colorado with Caitlin, so she must have got custody." And I saw people say, "No, no, 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 custody battles take some time, so she didn't get custody. It'll just be time." Well, June actually posted that she did get that custody was over. June actually did post that on Facebook in a Facebook group. Um, okay, sorry guys. Always got info coming in. Okay, so let me get to show you guys something because as you guys know, I've been covering this show for a while and I was actually waiting for news to come out like what happened, what happened, what happened. Well, then June posted the court was over. So I'm like, okay, court's over. What happened in court, right? Yes, the live chat is working, Jamie. Okay. So let me show you guys this. I'm in several Mama June pages. Let's see. Okay. And this was posted. God, when did I take that screenshot? I took this screenshot a couple of days ago. I don't remember what the post said something like, "So has Mama June have they established custody of Caitlin? Like what's happening?" And somebody said they appear in court in 2 weeks. And June said, "Nope, it's over on. It's over on." But I think she meant it's over, like court is over. And I was like, okay, so court is over. So June's let us know that court is over. So then I started, I have a lot of sources, some that live there, some that, know June, some that know Michael's side of the family. So I was just trying to like figure out so what happened. I've been checking the site, the case docket site to see if anything happened, to see if anything was uploaded into the site, and I couldn't find anything. Um, but I finally was able to gather enough information to give you guys the update that, it didn't go the way that a lot of people hoped for it to go, that, I hoped for it to go. And um, that's just the truth. I mean, June has messaged me several times, and I'm not going to, I told her, like, my opinion is my opinion based off the facts that I know. And one thing that she said is like, people don't know everything. And I'm well aware of that. I'm well aware that I don't know everything. But based off what I do know, that's the opinion that I hold. And since then, I feel like even before court, for me, and I'm not the same person as June Shannon. So our values, our morals are not the same. I know this. But on the TV show, June talking about Caitlin's, monthly cycle or her I don't remember how she the term that she used, but at this point she hadn't gotten custody. I mean, she had temporary custody of Caitlin and just found out that Michael was going to fight for custody. And she is talking about her 11-year-old grandchild's being her womanhood on the TV show. And I'm just like, and, maybe June doesn't know this because at 14 years old, June had a baby, and June's mom was not. I guess did not raise her the way that she needed to. But those are things that sexualize an 11-year-old. So one thing you don't want to do with your children is you don't want to sexualize them. For one, when you talk about sexual things in front of children, well, that makes them curious. If you want to sit your grandchild or your daughter down and you want to talk to her about the birds and the bees or whatever, like I get that. But to talk about, the situation that Jessica brought up on the boat, like, oh, well, we want to have babies and we want to use Josh's go go juice. And I was told, well, I saw that Cheyenne said that was not true. They never wanted to use Josh's go go juice. So that was a ratings thing. That my opinion, based off what I've heard, is that production was like, hey, do this. Um, hey, let's make this a storyline that y'all want to use Josh's go-go juice, that y'all want to have a baby and use his go-go juice or whatever. So I think that was a storyline, right? Which, whatever, do your storylines, but don't do your storylines in front of an 11-year-old, especially when you're talking about sex and semen and because what happened after that, Caitlin's right there and they're like, so we want to have a baby and we want to use Josh's go-go juice. And June's like, "You wanna boink boink Josh?" And Jessica's like, "No." And they're like, "That's not how it is." And then June's like, "So the next time you and Josh are having sex, you are just gonna." And I'm like, "There, see, this is," and I feel like June doesn't know these things. I feel like June doesn't understand that by talking about these things in front of your child, in front of children that age, it does have an effect on them. It does. Because guess what? Not every household talks about those things in front of their children. So guess what? When an 11-year-old hears things like sexual things like that in her household, guess what she's going to do? She may go to school and talk to her friend about the sexual things that she's hearing in her household. And then you got little girls at school talking about sexual things where another kid might overhear and then go tell the teacher that these two kids are talking about, boink boinking and X, Y, and Z. And so, I have a mother in law that is she has her degree in child psychology. I have a certificate in psychology. Like I said, it was an online thing, but there's reasons people grow up with trauma. No doubt June grew up with trauma from her childhood. And June's kids grew up with trauma. And they have talked about it relentlessly with June on this is why we feel the way that we feel. We feel like you chose men over us. We feel like you did this with us. Pumpkin literally went on Jelly Roll's wife's podcast, Bunny, and why do I never know what to call her? But Pumpkin went on a podcast basically saying, like, when she was young, her mom let her drink, let her go out, that she hung with older people, and that's why she did so many things. It's been this cycle. So my thing is like, June, you have Caitlin, just do right by her. And if you don't know that talking about sex and things like that in front of an 11-year-old is not smart, I'm telling you it's not. And I'm not telling you this as a hater or to be mean, but it's not good. Okay? I mean, there's a reason why, I don't know, maybe you were a teen mom and Anna was a teen mom and Pumpkin was a teen mom and no hate because I was a teen mom. But one thing that I can tell you is my mom made some mistakes when we were growing up and she admits that now. She admit that she, you know, exposed us to things that we shouldn't have been exposed to at a young age. Not that young, not at 11, but still. So I just want them to put things as a priority, like Caitlin's well-being versus a ratings. If anybody was to come to me and say, hey, you're on this TV show, and when y'all are out on the boat, we're gonna have Jessica bring up the fact that she wants Josh's go-go juice. I would be like, we're gonna have Caitlin on the boat with us, so that needs to be brought up when Caitlin's not around. And I would also not talk about my 11-year-old daughter's womanhood on the show. I would not tell, because guess what? Also, there's men that watch these shows and perverted men. John Benet Ramsey, like that was one girl I remember that there was a conspiracy about her death, that she had been unalived by a sicko that's seen her in the pageant circuit world, right? But I'm like, right now you have like, you just got temporary custody of Caitlin. Michael's fighting for custody of Caitlin. You have her on TV walking around in a little bathing suit where the camera literally shows her backside. You may have an old grimy man like taking still shots of that to do now. I don't know. I just feel like the world has changed and we know things today that maybe we didn't know back then. We like don't I don't know, just protect her. Just protect her. Just protect her because when you talk about certain things in front of also when you talk about certain things in front of a child that young, they think they are an adult. If they're treated like an adult and you talk about whatever in front of them, they don't know their place as a child because they are treated like an adult. And while we shouldn't mistreat our kids, they also need to know you're not an adult and we are having like adult conversation. So hey, go play on your iPad or go watch TV because we're having grown up conversations. And I do remember that when I was little. I remember, especially at my grandmother's house, like if we come into the kitchen and they were talking about something, it was like, hey, we're having adult conversations, go outside and play because some things are just not meant for little ears because kids are innocent. We are born with an innocence. And once it's taken, it is taken. You can't get it back. Once a child is exposed to sex and sexual things, it's that innocence is gone. You can't undo that. And it's been undone for her. And for what though? And by who? Because if you know you are exposed to sexual discussions and sex talk by your family and it's not in an educational way, like why take that innocence from them so early? So one of the main reasons why I obviously wanted Michael to get custody of Caitlin was for one, she would be with her sister Kylie. They have both, their lives have changed so dramatically in the past year, 7 months. I can't even begin to explain. Thank you. Thank y'all so much. It's saying that my eyes look pretty and my shirt is a good color. Thank y'all. I'm the same age as your middle daughter. Oh, wow. Really? So, like I said, one of the reasons was obviously for her to be with Kylie, because a lot of the world has been focused on Caitlin, but what about Kylie? Kylie is a 9-year-old who her whole life was flipped upside down too. Um, and I feel for those girls because Kylie lost her mom and Kylie lost Caitlin basically. Caitlin lost her mom and Caitlin lost Kylie and Michael. And that's sad for both of them. And I don't understand. I do know in the affidavit that was filed on behalf of Caitlin, it said Caitlin does not want to even have visitations with Michael. Well, I was told that in the court hearing, and this is just what I was told, that she said she, loves Michael and that she did want to see him. So if that is the truth, and I'm assuming that may come out in the transcript when the transcript comes out. But if it does come out in the transcript that the judge said, "Hey, Mr. Michael, uh, I talked to Caitlin in my chambers. She does, she cares about you. She loves you, and she said she did want to see you." Then I'm going to question that affidavit. And if I was the judge, I would have questioned that affidavit. If I would have said she told me something different in my chambers versus what the affidavit said that was sent in, then I would be questioning, well, why did she say that in an affidavit but say something different in my chambers? Was she made to feel like she needed to say she didn't want to see Michael? Was she did somebody? I would just question things, but I can't say for sure that that's what was said because we see Nat B. Yes, so what was said in the judges' chambers will be that won't be open to the public. That won't be public. But this was said in court to Michael, that she said she cares a lot about you, loves you, and or at least to what I was told, it was said in court to him. So it should be in the transcripts. So that is my for them for Caitlin and Kylie to be able to be together. For, obviously Michael, who has invested so much time in raising her. I mean, could you just you're putting a family back together because this has been Michael's life and Caitlin and Kylie's life week on, week off for several years now. So you're just putting them back to somewhat of a normalcy after they had such a great loss. Obviously it's not going to be completely normal because the week that, they're thinking, oh, I've been with dad for a week, I should be going back to my mom's house. They're going back to Eldridge and maybe to visit with June and Pumpkin and them. They're not going back to uh Anna and Eldridge's house. It's going to be going back to mom and Eldridge's house, but mom's not there because she's passed away. But at least it would give them some sort of normalcy, right? So, and I was never like completely opposed to like the girls even having a relationship with Anna's side of the family. I do think Anna would have wanted that because I think when Anna got sick and there was this part of her that knew in the back of her head that she was going to pass, I do think there was also a part of Anna that thought she could beat it because she did tell people that. She told people that she thought she was going to beat it. But I do think there was obviously this other part of her that thought that she, may pass. And I think Anna was like, I want to make amends with my family. We know that. She made amends with her family. I mean, literally as late as late October 2022, she was still not talking to June, but after the cancer and everything, she reconnected with her mom. And I like that. I think that's great because I couldn't imagine me getting cancer and not having a relationship with my mom. It would make me want to too. It would make me want to be like, you know what? I don't know what's going to happen with me. I don't know if I'm going to make it. So I want to, at minimum, make amends with my mom and my family. So I mean, I think that's good. Um, but at the end of the day, still the life that Anna had with her girls happened, and the people that was there with Anna were there with Anna and for Anna throughout the years that June wasn't. And it does kind of suck that all these people were there for Anna and they had this life of them having birthday parties all together at Tanya's house or, with Michael in London and Michael's parents and June and them not being there or being involved. But then, Anna gets sick. And for some reason, it's just like she goes to June's house and she kind of shuts everybody else out for some reason. I don't understand that, but I don't know. I don't know. I just wished there was a scene in the show that really got me, and I'm like, why though? Where Anna said, when I die, like Kylie's gone, they're going to take Kylie. And I'm like, everybody that I've talked to has told me like, there's no way Anna would not want Michael and Eldridge to get Caitlin and Kylie. There's no way Anna wanted her mom to end up with Caitlin and her girls to be separated. I mean, and I've talked to people that has known Anna her whole life almost that have told me this. So it's just, so I'm like, and I feel like you had such a long relationship with Michael, his mom, London, that I'm sure y'all didn't get along at all times. Whoever does, you know, I'm not saying there weren't times where Michael and Anna probably got into some arguments, or maybe London and Anna got into some arguments, or maybe Michael and Eldridge got into some arguments. Because let me tell you, it's hard when you have children by another man, especially when they get another woman. It's hard because the woman, when she comes in, the man's life changes up because now he's got this new girlfriend and their lives kind of change up a little bit. And we want to stay on this routine that we have. And maybe we're taking a little bit more from the man than we should. So whenever the girlfriend comes in and says, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to do what we're supposed to do. And we're not, you're not going to take advantage of us anymore. We're not going to do more than what we're supposed to do or whatever. It can get dirty and the waters can get muddy. And I'm not saying that didn't happen. It probably did happen. But judging from what Anna said on her streams and, on her lives saying Michael is their dad, always has been, always will be, or, going live and saying, oh, the girls are with their dad. It's his weekend, tagging Michael and Michael's mom in post, going from that to just saying all of a sudden, "Oh, when I die, they're gonna take her, I know." Why? Why? It doesn't have to be like that. I don't think it had to be like that. I think Anna could have absolutely met with Michael, met with London, met with Michael's mom, and said, "This is what's happening. I'm I have cancer, and these are my wishes. If I don't make it or whatever, I don't want Caitlin and Kylie to be separated." And my thing is like Anna had the power to do that. Anna had the power to say, obviously, Kylie's going to go to Michael. Caitlin, I want you to go to Eldridge. That's what she said. And I was always told from day one that Anna wanted Caitlin to go to Eldridge because she wanted Eldridge and Michael to work together to keep the girls on the same schedule. But she did want June to have a relationship. She also wanted Caitlin and Kylie to have a relationship with her family, Mama June and Pumpkin and all of them. But I have been told there's not one person that has told me that Anna wanted June to get Caitlin. Everybody has said, I talked to Anna and she wanted Eldridge and Michael to have the girls and for them to keep the week on, week off. And she just wanted, the girls to be able to see June and her family. She never intended. And if you really think about the show, June was telling everybody since Anna found out she had cancer, she said she wanted me to, to get Caitlin. But I'm like, well, you gave her paperwork to sign off on. Why didn't she sign it? Was it because maybe she really didn't want you to have custody of her, but she just wanted you to be there helping and, seeing her kids? I don't think that Anna ever wanted June to not be a part of her kids' lives. But her saying, I want Eldridge to have Caitlin. And, if he needs help, you can be there. I really don't think she meant to take over. And like I said, I was told that on the show, June said that after Anna passed, her and Eldridge sat down and had a discussion. And because of his work, they decided that she would keep Caitlin. Now, I was told that discussion never happened. That's just what I was told. That it didn't happen, that June just kept her, and then when got custody, and when it was kind of sprung on Eldridge that like, I'm going to keep her, and he kind of felt like he couldn't do anything. I do feel like Eldridge has been in a tough spot as well because he's worried that if he does anything to make anybody mad, he's not going to get to see, the girls. So he's in this pickle of like, I can't say nothing to nobody. But I also think that he knows that they are not, and this is just my opinion, that Anna's wishes are not being honored the way that she wanted them to be. But this is just, yeah. Oh, happy 31st birthday, early. So there was, oh yes, there was something else. So also, some people don't think anything about it, but I can tell you I don't know, like posting TikToks of Caitlin showing her backside to music that says "good googly moogly, that ass is juicy." I just don't understand that. And that's to me, but like I said, I have different morals and ethics for my family and my kids. I would never post a photo or a picture of my daughter strutting her stuff where you see her from the backside, and then me strutting my stuff from the backside and say with a song that says "good googly moogly, that ass is juicy." Because what are you implying? You are literally calling attention to Caitlin's behind, and then you're showing yours, and you're showing that yours is much bigger and yours is juicy, and she ain't got. And it even said something like, so, and I'm not even saying this to like go off on June, but or Pumpkin. But these are the things that this is how you are sexualizing kids. This is literally sexualizing kids. Like whenever people see Caitlin in public and maybe they're staring her up and down, or they make some like vulgar comment to her, like this might be the reason why, because they see y'all putting her on Facebook from the back. It's got 600,000 views. Hold on. I don't know if y'all can hear that. Okay. But they're in a women's bathroom. They're in a women's bathroom, And it says, point of view, your aunt took everything. And it shows Caitlin walking. Hold on. I'm not going to show the actual TikTok, but I'm going to show y'all kind of. It shows Caitlin walking, so she struts her stuff towards the thing. And then it shows Pumpkin. Point of view, your aunt took everything. And then it says, Caitlin said, you took everything, Aunt P. I don't know, but I feel like at 11 years old, I wasn't looking to see if my aunt had a bigger bum than I did and thinking, you took it all. Dang it. Like, I don't know. Like, to me, that's like a sign that she's already focused on things like that. That, like, oh, I don't have a butt. I don't have no boobs. But you shouldn't focus on things like that because you're 11, be 11, be or 12. You're 12 now because your birthday was Friday. Be 11, be a young girl, have sleepovers with your friends where you talk about 12-year-old things, not that type of things because you're too young for that. And my fear is subjecting a child this young to things like that. So, like, no, I don't know. Like I'm like, oh God, I just hope and pray she doesn't end up pregnant. You know what I'm saying? Holy crap! Like, but the thing about it is I do think this is normal for them. Like, they don't see nothing wrong with it. But coming from an educational standpoint, from somebody that her my mother-in-law worked for CPS, DCFS in Georgia, Texas, and Louisiana. Wait, in Georgia, Utah, and Texas, not Louisiana, sorry. She has a degree in child psychology. Like, over sexualizing a child at a young age has effects on them. And it can lead to things like teen pregnancy. So I'm just saying, like, I don't know, like, June has talked about how she, made a lot of mistakes with her girls. So now she's trying to break that cycle. But I'm like, what are you? Because by telling the whole world that she's having her womanhood or motherhood or whatever, and then talking about sex and semen in front of her, and then that's a lot. And I get it. 11-year-olds nowadays, they're on social media and they see all kind of things. Like having direct access to the internet, no telling what they can see, which is why you should have like those parental controls on your kids' stuff. But I couldn't even imagine like being the person exposing my child to that. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, Danny, I know a lot of people think that, but I know a lot of things about Pumpkin that like her letting Alana move in with Dralin when she was like, it was right before she turned 16 or right after she turned 16. It was within that time frame, and Dralin was like 20 or something, and Alana moved in with him. But they didn't tell nobody. Obviously, they let us believe that Alana was living with Pumpkin. Um, uh, they filmed the show, and Alana would come back and act like she lived there, and Dralin, he got arrested, and he wasn't supposed to be driving. And when they first started out, the beginning of this season, Dralin was coming in Ubers, but then if you saw like mid-season, driving them to Colorado. But like he started driving, from my understanding, before he got his license back. I still don't even know if he got his license back. But like, I mean, and Dralin, like right before he got with Alana, he was arrested for I think it was like statute. Let me look it up because I don't want to say the wrong thing. Okay. This is from, and I have looked at these court records. I have the court records. I actually got like the police written report and everything from this. I did a FOIA for this. Or actually, I did not do the FOIA for this. I did the FOIA for the DUI arrest. But inside Honey Boo Boo's much older boyfriend Dralin Carswell's dark past, including statutory and DUI arrest. And here's the thing, you know what? Y'all want to know what Mama June said whenever people started calling June out for Alana and Dralin dating? You want to know what she said? Well, there's the same age difference between Josh and Pumpkin, but y'all didn't say anything back when they started dating on Mama June from Night to Hot. Y'all didn't have no problem with that whenever Pumpkin was, that age dating Josh when he was, that much older. Um, so I'm like, well, heck, I didn't even notice that. When I was watching when the show first come back on, or whenever we were introduced to Josh as Pumpkin's boyfriend, I had no idea that there was that big of an age gap. But there is. There's the age gap is there for both of like um let me see. Hold on. All right, so Pumpkin is 24 and Josh is 28. And I think they started dating when she was like 16. So he was 20. If my memory serves me correctly, he was like 16. She was 16, he was 20. And he even like moved in with them at some point. Uh, yeah, Josh wasn't getting arrested either. And I do want to put this out there too. In Georgia, the legal age is I think 16. I think. Um, so but yeah, June was like, well, y'all didn't have no problem with it when Pumpkin and Josh was doing it. And I was like, hey, I didn't even know. If I would have knew, I would have been like, not my child. No. My daughter, she dated a guy that was a little bit older, but that was after she turned 18. And he was like 23. But she was 18 and there was nothing I could do about it because at 18, you're an adult. You know what I'm saying? But let's look at this. Honey Boo Boo 17 is dating 21-year-old boyfriend Dralin Carswell since early 2021. Um, so the statutory rape comes in with another girl that was 15 and he was 18. So that's what I'm saying. Um, Dralin started dating Alana right after this happened. But before Alana, he, according to reports, had gotten arrested for sleeping with a 15-year-old. And that is statutory. Okay. But her man has a dark past, including the arrest for the DUI, the statutory rape charge. Okay, let's take a look at Dralin's criminal history. This is not me. This is the Sun. The college student was arrested on Tuesday, February 28th for a DUI and fleeing the cops. I was also told that he was not a college student. I don't know. I know, like a lot of TV shows, like the Playboy, the girls next door, the Playboy mansions, they wanted all the girls to have something like, oh, you're a student here, you're this, you're that, when they really weren't. Anyways, I think Bridget was like the only one that was like really doing what she said she was doing. Alana Honey Boo Boo Thompson was in the passenger seat of the Dodge Charger driven by Dralin as he allegedly fled Monroe County deputies in Georgia. In his new mugshot that was exclusively obtained by the Sun, he looked serious. Dralin was driving the car around 4:30 when deputies tried to make a traffic stop. He allegedly gave a chase, sped up north for about 3 miles. The officer initially eventually used a pit maneuver to spin the car and disable it with the Team Reality star inside. Now, this is where I started because before this, I was like a fan of the show, a fan of the family. Like I watched the family for a long time. And I was like, oh my God, that's so awesome for Pumpkin to take in Alana and, step in and take on that parental role. You go back to my videos before this arrest, I was always like, I'm praying for June. She got this. I can't wait for June to make her comeback. She's going to do great. Like, I'm so proud of her for like getting her life together. I'm so proud of Pumpkin for doing what she needs to do and for taking in Alana. This was before I knew all the stuff that was really going on behind the scenes that we did not know about, like the fact that Alana was not even living with Pumpkin, that she was actually living with Dralin. This was before I knew all those things. But this arrest is where, because when this arrest happened, I was like, oh, Pumpkin and Josh are going to make them break up, or they are going to like really have a go at Dralin for this. The fact that Dralin put Alana in danger, they are not going to be happy with them. But they actually were not happy with their fans who were upset about the situation. Instead of like saying, yeah, Dralin was in the wrong, he shouldn't have done what he done, they got on live streams and they cussed their fans and told us that our vaginas smelled stinky and we needed to take care of our nappy headed kids. That's what they told us essentially. And that's when I was like, whoa. So that's wild because I am a fan and I don't like what he done. So by that account, I am I hate her and I stink and la di da di da. Really? Why not just say, yes, he made a mistake? He made a mistake. You know, what the news is reporting is not all correct news. Some of it is correct, some of it is not. But yes, he made a mistake. He should have stopped. You know, we're not happy with it, but he made a mistake. Anyways, Alana was not arrested or taken to Monroe County Jail, but was taken to Monroe County Jail where her older sister, Pumpkin, who has custody of the teen, picked her up. A $25,000 bail was set for Dralin. It appears he has since been released. Now, here is the statutory rape charge. But the latest bust was not his first running with the law. The Sun can exclusively report that Alana's boyfriend was arrested back in on May 29, 2019. Hold on, guys. Hold on for a second. Oh, also, I didn't know that I didn't respond to you earlier. I think you're watching. To the person that just messaged me, I think you're watching, and I'm so sorry. I didn't notice that you. I did notice you messaged me earlier, but I thought I responded. So sorry. Okay. So he was arrested May 29th, 2019, and initially was charged with statutory rape. So that was his first charge with this arrest. In this case, Alana was not the alleged victim, and it appears the incident occurred prior to their dating, but I think it was like right before their dating. Like, this happened in May. She started dating him, I think, in November 2019. In this case, Alana, sorry, I already read that. The mother of the alleged victim brought her daughter into the police department, according to the police report. She claimed that Dralin, who was 18 at the time, climbed through her daughter's window and had sex with her 15-year-old daughter. In the report, the officer wrote they interviewed the minor. I asked the daughter if it was consensual. She said yes. The minor told the officer that they had consensual, unprotected sex in her bedroom. Dralin allegedly told the police that the minor was his girlfriend and claimed that they had talked about him coming to her house, but denied that he went. So, and he also said he had an alibi. He told the police that he was at his friend's home all day and all night, but when the friends were investigated, when the friends were brought in, they told investigators that they dropped Dralin off at the miner's home and picked him back up over an hour later. The friends allegedly told the police that when they picked Dralin up, he was scared and told them to drive fast because the miner's mother had caught him inside the house. Reps for Alana and Dralin did not respond to the Sun's request for comment at the time. Dralin was initially charged with statutory rape, but ultimately completed a pre-trial diversion program, which resulted in the dismissal of a claim for making a false statement to law enforcement. This was his first time in trouble with the law. During the pre-trial diversion hearing, June 2021, Dralin agreed to fulfill the terms of the program in exchange for a dismissal. So it was dismissed. He went through the pre-trial diversion hearing. During a hearing, the assistant district attorney said, I've spoken to the mother of the 15-year-old, and she is in agreement with the recommendation, which is Mr. Carswell successfully completes this pretrial status, and then his case will be dismissed. The Sun can exclusively reveal Alana has been in a relationship with Dralin since the start of 2021. I actually don't think that's right. Wait, it might be right. That may be right. But I think it was 2020. I had notes for a while about when they started dating. I had it all figured out. I was able to figure out when they actually started dating because Alana did an interview with her family on Entertainment Tonight sometime back, and she said, this such and such will be our such and such anniversary. And I was like, oh, wait. I did not know you've been dating him that long. And I was like, wait, that long would mean that you're with this age and not that age, the age that you told us you were. So then I was able to connect the dots. I was told allegedly how they met. But June did tell me she's going to be sending me a cease and desist for her, Justin, and Caitlin, which I don't even talk about Justin. I don't really talk about Caitlyn. I mean, nothing. The thing about a cease and desist, when we have freedom of speech, and we absolutely have freedom to talk about people that are celebrities that put their lives on, television for us to talk about. Um, so nobody can tell you you can't talk about that celebrity. What they can say is you can't defame that celebrity, but I haven't. So, I mean, I can get a cease and desist, but as long as I don't defame anybody, I can talk about whoever. But she did confirm a while ago because she's been messaging me, and she did confirm a while ago, I'm not suing you. I'm sending you a cease and desist. So, okay. Um, I don't know. How can someone give up custody of their own child but get custody of another? Mind blowing. One thing that I can tell you is the justice system, there's not much justice half the time. It's disgusting. Um, a source confirmed Dralin attended a Nashville technical school before the pandemic hit, but now resides in Georgia near Alana and her sister Lauren, who has custody of Alana. Uh, Pumpkin told The Sun, me and my husband love Dralin. He's very respectful and treats Alana with the utmost respect. He is around us and our kids a bunch also, and we love him for Alana. Despite the diamond ring that her sister has been wearing, Pumpkin clarified that's not an engagement ring, but a promise ring from Dralin. Fans of the show first met Dralin in an episode of Mama June Road Redemption that aired during the 2022 season, which was not the first time. When they introduced Dralin, was going to be like the first time that Dralin was meeting Pumpkin and Josh, and that was also not like they've been knowing him. So I was told that Pumpkin and Josh actually knew Dralin before Alana knew Dralin. That um, I know, right? If you're gonna cease and desist, I'll find you the best picture frame, and you can probably just put. I know, right? Um, yeah. So, what was I saying? I forgot. Oh, I was okay. So my source is telling me that um, Josh and Pumpkin knew Dralin, which would make sense because Dralin is more around their age and not Alana's age, but he was their friend. Y'all said it in the comment section. I didn't. That's what I heard too, but I don't know. Um, no, I don't think that was really her birthday either. Yeah, like a lot of what we see, like they reenact things, they come up with storylines. Just like literally, somebody said the other day, they're like, Cheyenne said on a TikTok they never wanted Josh's go go juice. So I'm like, see? But it is a sad situation. And I did tell June because here's the thing I'm not an evil person. June started messaging me a while back, obviously not happy with some of the things that I report on. And I told her, I said, listen, my opinion is my opinion based off what I know. If you have some information you want to give me to change my opinion, I'm all ears. But here's the thing. From some people, I just need proof because your word is not enough, especially if I see you on TV telling a lie that you know is about to be exposed. It's like me sitting here and telling you guys, let's see. What is okay? I'm just gonna say it. Like on the show, when June told Justin, back when Alana was doing Dancing with the Stars and The Masked Singer, we had to do a Coogan account because that's California law. Well, the law states that you are to put 20% in the Coogan account and you can keep 80%. Well, I did opposite, basically hyping herself up. It's like, look what I did. I did opposite. Actually, she said I actually put 80 in the account and I kept 20%, making her husband think like, oh wow, look at you. Great mom, you are over there that you did a great thing. You actually left more for your um kid than you took. That's awesome. But what's crazy is June already knew. June already knew that they were about to have to dig into the Coogan account because Pumpkin had already told her. Pumpkin had already said, "Give me the information about the Coogan account." So she told this story to Justin about there's going to be 80% of the money in the Coogan account, knowing they were going to have to get the records and it would come out that it was not 80%. So I'm like, you know, if you will lie, that tells me a little bit about you. But if you will lie knowing that the truth is about to come out, but you still lie and you do it on a very public platform, knowing I'm going to say this and tomorrow people will know the truth, but it don't matter because I'm going to say it today. But tomorrow people's going to know that I lied. But oh well, I'm going to say it anyways. That's like a different type of breed to me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, I'm not about to embarrass myself. I'm not about to look like no liar. So if I have to get on this channel and tell y'all something really embarrassing about myself, or if I was June and I had to say, so listen, I put 20% in there and I kept the 80% and I was in my addiction. So I did spend it, I did blow it, and that was because she could have did that. June could have literally made things so much better for her, and the audience would have, I think, looked up to her. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think the audience could have looked up to her if she would have said, "Let me tell you something, Justin. We're about, they want me to get into that Coogan account, but I'm a little nervous because I was in my addiction back when all that happened. I follow the law. I follow the law. I put the 15 or the 20% in there, whatever it was. But I did keep the 80% and I blew it. I don't have it anymore. And I know they're gonna be upset with me about that. But there's nothing I can do about it. Like if you could have did that, if you would have did that, you would have had a lot more people be sympathetic to you to be like, well, at least she's being honest now. But the fact that you lied while knowing that you are about to get into the Coogan account and you were going to be exposed for it, but you lied anyways. I don't know. So yes, June messaged me several things about, these things happened. They did this. Michael did this. This person did that. And you don't know it, but I'm telling you. And I'm like, well, I appreciate you for telling me, but I'm going to need more than like you telling me this happened. You know what I'm saying? Because I've seen you lie on national television when you knew that the truth was about to come out. Oh, I can't. Oh, well, yeah. I hear it's not always good and well in that department either. I meant good, not golden in the text message. Um, so I don't know. I'm just like, um, but I was nice to June. I was like, listen, I can only base my opinion off what I know, and I'm a nobody. I'm like, I'm a nobody. I would not imagine somebody that's been on TV as long as you have would really care about what I had to say. But I base what off what I, what, and I wish June could understand because she keeps saying like, I know I made a lot of mistakes, um, but I know I made a lot of mistakes, but I am doing better now, and I'm like, I do think that you are doing a lot better now than you had been in the past. But this is a child that we're talking about who has lost her mother, and at the end of the day, I am somebody that only knows what I've seen and what I'm being told, and I'm looking at your life and history versus Michael's, who's somebody that's not been on TV, but a little bit during the Here Comes Honey Boo Boo days, but he ain't got no record. If you look at his Facebook, by all accounts, his what I was looking the other day at Michael's fiance. She was doing like her bridal shower, and it was her in a picture of little Kylie, and they just looked so cute. They had their little dresses on with their little heels, and their hair was, and it was. I think it was her bridal shower, and I told my husband, I said, "Look at this picture. They just look so classy, at her little bridal shower." But then, like, if you look at pictures of, like, June and her family at, like, their functions, it's like and I'm just like, I want them to be raised, like, to where they know their worth, they know that they're good people, and, a nice dress and heels ain't all that there is to it, but I'm saying, I feel like I can see their morals and their values in the pictures of them. I feel like I when I look at the pictures of London and Michael with the kids, like, they always dress them appropriately. They always they I feel like they celebrate things like they're celebrating them with a child and not, a 12-year-old going on 25 or whatever, So I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. But I mean, I told you and I base my opinion off what I know, and there's not a lot out there about Michael. There is no arrest records. Okay, so I guess there was a DCFS case that was opened years ago. But having a DCFS case open, does that prove anything? The fact that it was closed and he never got arrested or he was never told you can't be around kids, that tells me more than the fact there was a DCF case open. Because a lot of people have had CPS, DCFS cases open. Is the end results that makes me be like, okay, well, if he was told he can't see the kids, then I would be like, well, what happened? I mean, like I said, I had one on me and they came, they visited, talked to me and the kids, closed it. She literally told me as she was walking out, I'm closing this. Like it's obvious that like everything is fine here. If you make somebody mad, they can report. And there's been times, a wife gets mad at her husband or a fight does happen and cops are called and CPS gets involved because the kids were there, and a big argument that maybe got a little out of hand happened in front of the kid. So CPS opens an investigation, or a kid can go to school and say something, and CPS get called. But then when they go to the house and they interview the kid and they interview the parents, they're like, okay, well, there's nothing here to this, or nothing that we should really be concerned with. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, how are you going to pull a DCFS case? The one thing I feel like that you have on him that could kind of make him look like a bad guy, but it's like, we still have all this other stuff on you, June. Like we still, and that was the big thing with June, trying to tell me that he abused Anna and Caitlin. And I'm like, but I see no evidence of that. Where is the actual evidence of that? Because I'm seeing the evidence of you, talking about an 11-year-old womanhood on TV. I'm seeing you talk about sex in front of this 11-year-old. I'm seeing your history. And if we're going to judge somebody based off something that happened years ago for them, then do we want to go back to that time in your life with what was happening with you? Because I'm sure you wouldn't want to. I'm sure allegedly this DCFS case was when Michael and Anna was married or maybe right after the divorce. Okay. So let's see. That would have been like 7 years ago. Okay. So if we're going to base an incident that happened with a Michael 7 years ago, let's look at everything that was going on in June's life 7 years ago. Because if you don't think people should judge you based off what you were doing 7 years ago, do you think that they should judge Michael off what he was doing 7 years ago? Because guess what? Michael 7 years ago was how old? How old? You know what I'm saying? Like young. He would have been young. I mean, not young, young, but it says he's 24. Okay. Is that right? Is he 24? He is young. That can't be right. Should have asked one. No, he's 32. What the heck? He's 32. Sorry. I'm like, that cannot be right. Okay, so he would have been 25. Um, I'm like, there is no way. It does say 24 on this. Let me show y'all. Y'all see that? It says 24. So, but I did 2024 minus 1992, which was the year. So he's 32. He turned 32 this year. And that's the way that I feel too. Like, just because a CPS case was open and maybe something was said, it doesn't mean that abuse actually happened. And just because Anna did let Michael see not only Kylie but Caitlin as well after they got a divorce, to me that makes me feel like she trusted Michael with the kids, right? So, I mean, I'm hearing all kind of things. June has messaged me saying they did this, they did that, they did this, they did that. I'm going to put some things out there really quickly for you guys. So, Michael Cardwell got a new truck not too long ago, a couple weeks ago. From my understanding, he traded the truck that he had in to get the new truck. But this man, him and his fiance both work, okay? They both work. But I think it's going to be said that he got money by other means. Okay, I don't know if I want to put out what's going to be said, but it's not going to be nice. No GoFundMe's was ever started for Michael. I checked to see, but I do follow Michael and London on Facebook, and June was trying to tell me that Michael does some things where he made money and profited off of the situation with Anna. I don't even want to discuss exactly what she's going to say, but she's going to say it. I'm sure June's going to put it out there in an interview. But I was told by my sources that first off, Michael works, London works, and they traded the truck that he had to get a new truck, a newer truck. I don't even think the truck is like a 2024, 25 or anything like that. But he traded his truck in to get a newer truck. Also, I know June made a comment about the fact that they are like redoing some of their places in their house. From my understanding, they don't pay rent because the home is like family member or something like that. But June is saying because they're getting married and they have the money for a wedding and they have the money to get a new truck and they have the money to remodel their house, that he profited some way off Anna's passing, right? But listen, just if I ain't paying a house note either, I would have a good bit of more money that I might could. And also, though, if you rent a home and like something messes up, the landlord has to fix it. So if they're renting their home, which I was told they don't rent, I was told that like it's like a family members or something, so that's why they can't afford to, they both do work, got the truck on payment like most people do, none of her business. Exactly. And I was very like, I don't know if I want to even say this because I know these are, but I do know things. I do know that I think June's going to put these things out there to make it look like Michael is profiting off Anna's death. But I'm like, dude, you put it on the show. So would it be a bad look for Michael to somehow, when literally you are putting it on the show, so you are profiting off of the situation as well. But so when y'all see these things like, oh, he got a new truck, okay, how many of us has traded a vehicle in to get something a little bit newer, but we got a payment plan so we can pay on it? How many of us has redone our kitchen or our bathroom or this? But it wasn't because we got a big check from something. It was because we work. And maybe we don't have to pay this big bill over here, so we can afford to do this. And they've been planning this wedding for several months. I don't think it's going to be this big, elaborate wedding. So, I mean, who cares? Like, they both work. At the end of the day, this is Kylie's father, and Kylie will see her grandmother talk bad about her dad. And that's another thing, too, is if June is really going to put all this out there, which I think she is because she told me she was, she said, like, oh, I'm going to put it out there. People's going to know, like, about these things. So I don't know how she's going to put it out. I don't know if it's going to be in an interview on Entertainment Tonight or E! News. It's going to come out within the next few days. I don't know if it's going to be on the show. I don't know. But I just want people to understand that this man has worked for many, many, many years. When him and Anna got together, he was working. He took care of Anna and Caitlin when they went to Alabama. He helped them get back to Georgia even after they split up. And then he moved back down here so he could see Caitlin and Kylie. and he has helped them financially. And another thing, right? Guess what? Michael was having to pay tuition for Caitlin and Kylie to go to a private school. Well, guess what? He don't pay tuition for Caitlin anymore because Caitlin's with June and they put her in a private school. So he's also saving that money that he normally would have put towards the private school, which I do know, he's had to pay his lawyer and everything, but I'm pretty sure like he's worked out probably some sort of payment plan with his lawyer too for that. But they both work. And I mean, they have family members that probably, if they need some type, like just because somebody's remodeling their house and planning a wedding months down the road, doesn't mean that they got some check from somebody from somewhere. Maybe they got their check from work, you know? But she can't comprehend people living a normal life and paying their bills and building their life up in a legit way. That's, you know what? I think you're right, Sean. I think she really can't because June's never done that. Like, June's never, I mean, it's been many, 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 many years. Well, I don't even know if she even did that. Oh, thank you, Danny, for the super sticker. Thank you so much. Thank you. Even way back in the day on Here Comes Honey Boo Boo, like, they didn't really build their life up until right before they got the From Night to Hot. Like, they stayed in that, that house over there by the train tracks until, like, her and Sugar Bear split up, I think. Um, but yeah, if Michael was trying to hide the fact that he got a new truck, he wouldn't have posted it on Facebook and been so proud of it. But I don't understand why, because they're able to do these things, like, it's all gotta be, "Oh, he's getting money from somewhere." Like, because I'm like, "Okay, June, you're telling me this. Where's your evidence? Where's your evidence that this happened?" Because it and she can't blame me for wanting evidence of these things because she has been on TV. Justin talks about on the show about how she lies. Her kids talk about how she lies. So, of course, me, when you're telling me these things, I'm and I think that's what June is gonna try to say, that there was some sort of life insurance policy on Anna, but the only person that really tried to get a life insurance policy on Anna was June. And so that is what she's gonna try to say. She's gonna try to say that Michael took out a life insurance policy on Anna. And if he had one previously from before when they were married, and he just continued to pay for it over all these years because, well, I'm gonna keep insurance on or whatever. Like, my kid's grandmother has insurance on one of my kids, like life insurance. Well, kind of what the policy was is it covers, like, she has life insurance on like a certain amount of people. So she told me like that's for Kaden, and I'm like, okay, whatever. Um, she's just paid it all these years, like from the time he was a baby. When she got it when he was like a baby, and the reason why is she's always been very responsible and kept life insurance on people and things like that. But she lost two grandchildren right before I had my son, and she lost them on July 27th, 2007. So that was actually their anniversary was yesterday. She lost them on July 27th, 2007. And then I had Caden in September 2007. So obviously, whenever I had him, um, she, continued to pay for life because life insurance for several, I don't know how it works, but you can have policies on like a certain amount of people. I don't know. But she did have to use her life insurance policies that she previously had on her two grandchildren that died in a car crash. Um, but say he had it from the time they were married. I don't know. Um, but I don't think that Michael would illegally go. First off, Anna had a pre-existing condition. So if she's trying to say he got life insurance on her afterwards, that would be hard. If you guys remember, though, on the show, June talked about that. June talked about wanting to try to get some sort of insurance on Anna, and I think she was told like she couldn't because Anna already had cancer. Um, but that is what she's No good deed goes unpunished. This man tried to be a father to that child that wasn't his. He stayed loyal to the kid over the years, and now he gets his name dragged through the mud on top of having a ton of legal fees. Exactly. And now he can't even do anything like buy himself a nicer truck, that he's going to be paying on for the next 5 to 7 years. But more than likely was thinking, you know what? If we do get custody of Caitlin, I'll have a more dependable ride. And he can appeal. But he was told, or well, this is what I was told that was relayed once everything happened, that if he was to appeal, it would take a while. And the appeal would just to be to grant him a new equitable caregiver hearing. So then they would have to wait for the equitable caregiver hearing again. And then if it happened again and he was deemed to not meet all the qualifications again, he'd be back to square one. And it would probably take a year or so before that even happened. Um, if he had life insurance on Anna and she knew about it, that's not illegal. Plus, he probably would have saved. Plus, he probably would have saved the money for the girls. Yeah, that's my thing. Like, if he had it and she knew, like, why would it be illegal? I don't know. Is Caitlin's last name Shannon or Clark? So, okay, so it's Shannon, but I do remember, like, in the early days of like Here Comes Honey Boo Boo, like they it showed her as Caitlin Clark on the show, and media outlets reported her as Caitlin Clark, but I don't know if that was ever really her name. Well, it has to be done in the county where either he or June lives, because it has to be in jurisdiction from my understanding. Like if somebody wanted to sue me, they would have to come here to Louisiana to sue me because it has to be in my jurisdiction. Um, yeah, there's no way in the world he would be able to do that, especially after a cancer diagnosis. Yeah, and I was told that's what Well, June told me these things. She was like, he had a life insurance policy on Anna, and he cashed it out after she died. That's how he got the new truck. That's how he is remodeling his house. That's how he's having a wedding. And I'm like, he works, and like, where's the evidence of this? Because I don't think they work. I mean, literally, trading a vehicle in is not that big of a deal. I've been needing to go trade mine in. I want to trade mine in. And I just haven't had time to go do it. But it's not that big of a deal. I mean, if you have decent credit or good credit, I mean, you don't even need a deposit or anything. Like you could just trade. It's like no money up front. You just go trade your vehicle in. Like I said, I think from my understanding, a source that lives in the area told me that the house that they live in is owned by like a family or something. So they don't pay rent, I don't guess. So it wouldn't be much to start redoing a room in your house to redo it. The Also the wedding, like people they've been planning for this wedding for months, you know. So I don't know. June says she's going to put all this stuff out there. If she does and she has some sort of proof to back it up, I'll acknowledge that then. But somebody just saying these things doesn't hold water, in my opinion, especially when it is somebody that has lied. And, when I messaged June last, I did say, like, at the end of the day, my only concern is, like, whether I believe you, June, or whether I believe Michael, my concern has been the girls. And at the end of the day, do you think it's possible for everybody to put their things to the side and just work together for the betterment of the kids? And I say it because I think Caitlin would love to be able to see Kylie and Michael. And I think Kylie would love to be able to see Caitlin and her mom's side of the family. So, and I just said, we're all human. I know sometimes when I'm irritated, I can think in a selfish way. Like, no, I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to do what I want because you tick me off and I'm not going to do what you want me to do. But at the end of the day, it's about the kids. So if there's any way possible that everybody can just kind of put their things to the side, and I said, because I guarantee you, Caitlin and Kylie would love it if y'all could get along or at minimum be civil. And if Caitlin felt like she could go to you and say, hey, Gigi, can I go spend the weekend at Michael's house with Kylie? Or if Kylie was like, hey, Dad, can I go spend the weekend with Caitlin at Gigi's house? And y'all allowed that to happen just because y'all are working together for the betterment of the kids so they can stay, have visitation with each other and with Michael and still have a relationship with you. So, and she messaged me back like, you are not the middleman for me and Michael. Like, I don't know, like, you're a joke. I don't know. I'm like, I'm not trying to be a joke. I'm actually, but okay then. Like, sorry. Like, I even told her, like, I don't pretend to know what it's like for somebody to lose a child. I had a miscarriage years ago, but I know that's not the same thing as losing a child. And I do feel bad, for anybody that's had to bury a child, for anybody, for a child that's lost a mother. I do feel bad. I was very compassionate in my messages, and she basically was like, "You're a joke." You're not the middleman for us. And I'm like, all right, then. I'm just saying, like, put me out of this equation. And that's what I said. I'm not trying to be the middleman for Michael in London. Nobody asked me to ask you that. I am just thinking, like, I'm just thinking, what do I think the kids would want? What do I think Caitlin and Kylie would want? I guarantee you Kylie wants to see Caitlin. And I guarantee you Caitlin wants to see Kylie. She don't want to live the rest of her life without seeing her little sister. She don't want to live the rest of her life without seeing Michael in London. I guarantee you she wants to be a part of their wedding more than likely. All right, minimum she would like to be there. But does she feel like she can say that? Does Caitlin feel like she could go to Gigi and say, hey, Gigi, I do miss my dad. I do miss Michael, whatever she wants to call him. Does she feel comfortable calling Michael dad in front of June? Because I know she feels comfortable calling Michael dad when June's not around. Even since she's been living with June, she's called him dad out when she wasn't around June. Which makes me feel like she doesn't feel comfortable calling him dad in front of June. And that's the issue that I take. I just want to know that, like, nobody's pressuring any one of the children to think a certain way. And I even told you in this way, I said, the way that I feel when it comes to my children, the more people to love them, the better. It takes a valley. Is that the saying? It takes a valley to raise kids? Valley? No. Village. I'm like, that does not sound right. It takes a village to raise kids. So why not try to think, you know what? Why not sit Caitlin down and say, you know what, Caitlin? Put all my feelings aside. Anything I've ever told you about how I feel about Michael, don't even think about that. How do you feel about Michael? How do you feel about the fact that you haven't seen him? How do you feel about the fact that you haven't seen Caitlin or London? I don't want you to think that you're going to upset me with anything. I want you to be honest. You can be honest. I'm not going to get mad at you. Then what? See what Caitlin says. Because I just have you're going to school to benefit your videos, and she's on a reality show that regularly discusses how selfish she is, but you're a joke. I know it's fine though, because I don't look at myself like a joke, and the fact that she does is kind of funny, but that's okay. That's okay. I was really trying to be very like compassionate with her because I was like, at the end of the day, it's not about how I feel about June. It's not about how June feels about me. It's about the girls and what do I think would be right for the girls. And maybe I could be a voice of reason for June to think, you know what, let's put my thoughts to the side. And that's why I even said in my message, I know sometimes when I get upset, I can be selfish and want to do what I want to do. We can all be that way. But at the end of the day, if we really put the kids' feelings first, what do we think that would be like? And I just want her to think about that. Like, okay, if I really made Caitlin feel like she could talk to me and tell me the honest to God truth with how she's feeling, do I think it would be different than what she is telling me? And if so, then that's an issue that I've created, and maybe I need to do better with that. I've got custody of my 12-year-old grandson, and I've always had a great relationship with his dad and his family, and we are like family, really, and it makes it a lot better on the kids. Exactly. Like I said, my oldest kids, they don't have the same dad as my youngest 4, but I have always went above and beyond. My husband is in the chat, and he can tell you, Sean used to get annoyed with me at how much I tried to work with their dad. How much, like, birthday parties, I always invited him, even though Sean would be like, please don't invite him. I'm like, no, it's for the kids. And I would ask my kids, do you want your dad to come to your party? And if they said yes, guess what? Because it ain't about me. It ain't about Sean. It was about the kids. I can't tell you how many times Sean got annoyed with me because he had to be around Paris and Caden's dad and he didn't like him because their dad is not the smartest tool in the shed. You know what I'm saying? And he is hard to get along with because their dad can pop off and smart off and say, things that can be irritating. But I always took it. It didn't matter. We had parties where their dad would say or do something that was irritating. And half the time I wouldn't even tell Sean because I'm like, I don't want to annoy him. I don't want to get him mad. Like, I'm fine with it. It can roll off my back. But I'm telling you, I have literally went above and beyond to get along with their dad so that they always feel like they can tell me how they feel about their dad. And I mean, to this day, their dad just stops by. He just stops by, and he'll call, "Hey, I'm outside. Where the kids, And I'm like, huh? Hold on, I'll send them out or come inside. They're here." And this is a man that was not very nice to me in our relationship. Um, but I did what I did because my kids. And at the end of the day, I never wanted my kids to say, "You kept me from my dad. You always talk bad about my dad. You made me think my dad was this. You made me think." Because guess what? Kids will get to the age to where they know the truth. Kids will someday get to the age where they know the truth. And when they figure out the truth and they realize one of their parents has been lying to them because of her selfishness and how she felt, then that kid is going to look at that other parent and feel like she can't trust them. That kid is going to be like, "You know what? All this time you were telling me my daddy this, my daddy that, my daddy this, my daddy that," when really that's not what my daddy was doing. You lied to me and you hurt me for your own selfish benefit because you wanted me to choose you over him. So for that reason, you made me think X, Y, and Z. You lied to me about my dad. And I'm not saying all parents lie because some parents decide they're going to tell their children the truth about their dad, and that's just what it is. And there has been times I have had to tell my kids the truth about their dad when things have come up and things have happened with their dad. And I'm like, I don't want them to find out through the grapevine, and got to tell them. And that's just what it is. Some things you do have to tell them. But one thing that I try so hard to do, and I try to keep Sean from doing this, talking bad about their dad in front of them. I try to make sure Sean does not do that because I don't want it to interfere with the way my kids feel about their stepdad because they hear their stepdad talking bad about the real dad. Because growing up in a broken home, as someone that my mom and dad got a divorce when I was like 7, I know how that feels to hear one parent talk bad about the other parent. It puts you in a very uncomfortable situation and it makes you sad. And for Caitlin, who I really do feel like she looks to Michael as a dad and had a close relationship with him until all of this happened, I do think there's probably a part of her that it does hurt her that all this is happening. And there is a part of her that feels sad. Oh, my mom kept me from my dad. He just passed. He was my best friend. I haven't spoken to my mom in over 10 years. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. My hubby, up until they were 18, had a great couple parent relationship, and I love seeing it. Even now, we all get along. Kids love seeing it. Exactly. Yeah, kids love seeing that. Probably Jenna. That's all right. I want my grandson to have a well state of mind and see that people can work together and there's no stress on him. Because when adults don't get along, the kids suffer. Exactly. And that's one thing that June did say in her text to me that, oh, like this has been really hard on Caitlin. Like she's been really stressed out about this or something along those lines. And I'm like, well, one thing is you put her right in the middle of it. You filmed, you reenacted you getting served right in front of Caitlin. And then you said, Michael's effing suing me right in front of Caitlin. Caitlin ran off and said, awkward. That y'all reenacted that, right? That was not a real cup. Those papers had been bent all kind of which way. They literally, you know how when You know how when you um okay, you missed school the day before, so you need to write your parent needs to write a note for you because you missed school the day before, you were sick or whatever, or you want to sit out and pee. So, but you forgot to ask your parent to write you a note. So in first block, you're hurrying up and writing your note, but you know the teacher's not going to buy it because it's not folded, right? So what do? You write that note saying, please excuse Elle Bee from PE today as she has diarrhea, something, whatever. Signed, Mama B. But you're like, well, if it ain't folded, they gonna know I just wrote it. So gotta fold it up, stick it in my pocket, sit on it for a little bit, get it back out, fold it back up the other way. So they know when I go to pee and I hand them this note, oh, that looks like a legit note because it's folded up, right? That's exactly what happened when the fake cop came to give the paperwork. The paperwork was already folded up. You could tell had stain like food stains on the. I'm just picking it didn't, but anyways, you could tell that was a reenactment. So I'm like, you're talking about the fact that Caitlin is so stressed out over this, but oh really? I didn't see that. So you're telling me that Caitlin is so stressed out over this, but you have put her in the middle of it. You allowed to film a reenactment of you being served, paperwork by Michael, with her right there in the middle of it. You brought her to the courthouse for the hearing, and you talk about it in front of her, and not in a way of like, I don't know, in a way that I feel like you should. It's effing Michael, going effing, it's like, ugh. Like, and she wasn't even talking to Caitlin. She was telling Justin these things in front of her, you know? So, I don't know. I just feel like maybe some of the reasons she is so stressed out over it is because she knows too much and you have put that on her. I don't know. Anyways, you guys, Macy tells Taylor, not Ryan. Sorry. Gotcha. Yeah. So that was her in the clip. That's interesting. But anyways, yeah. So that was the outcome with court. As soon as the docket uploads, let me check something. As soon as the docket uploads and the paperwork is there where I can show you guys. But June confirmed it that court is over. She confirmed it to me in our text messages. She confirmed it on Facebook. She confirmed it. Let me see. Yeah, it's still not uploaded in the on the case docket, but as soon as it is, we'll go over whatever the final filing is. I don't even know how they're going to do it. Caitlin is 12 now. She just turned 12 on Friday. This is what I see happening just because I've dealt with, uh, I feel like Caitlin will get to a point where she's not happy with maybe June's rules or June ticks her off and she'll say, I want to go live with my daddy or I want to go live with Eldridge. I do think that's coming because teens are teens and every teen, I mean, not every teen, but most teens get mad at the parent they live with and say, I want to go live with my other parent or you're not my mom or you're not my dad. So I do think that's is there any chance that any of this was staged for the show? Any of like the custody thing? No. Like Michael legit 1,000% wanted to get custody of Caitlin. This has been a real court situation. There is a case number. Attorneys were hired. Court was not staged. Now, June being served was staged. She was served, but production was not there, from my understanding. So she called production, say she was served, and then they come in and they reenacted it, from my understanding. Yes. Uh, so if you watch Anna on the Dr. Phil show, I think it was, she says that, she was SA'd when she was 8 years old. She said, but even before that, she stayed at her grandmother's house a lot. She said, I kind of lived between my grandmother's house and my mom's house just because I didn't like being at my mom's house that much. But then that happened. And whenever I told and he was arrested, I moved in with my grandmother, like permanently until she was 17. But yes, it's all public record. You can look up the docket, the case docket or whatever. Yes, Michael does. He wanted her. He wanted to have her and her sister, and he has a stable house where they both work, and it's very normal. And but anyways, you guys, leave me your thoughts. Like, share, subscribe. I wish I had better news to bring you guys. I'm sorry. June did say she's going to serve me with a cease and desist. So when she does, I will send that to an attorney to. Here's the thing: if you can't tell somebody they can't talk about you, you can't. You can't. Especially if you are on TV and you are a celebrity that is constantly going on TikTok telling people to subscribe to your TikTok or to become like you just can't tell people you can't talk about me just because you don't like what they say. I wish you could because I would have sent several cease and desist to people. Like, yeah, you're saying that's something I don't say. Don't talk about me. Cease and desist. You know what I'm saying? Everything that I say is either my opinions, something that I've seen reported, or something that sources have given me. And the thing about that is the reason people send a cease and desist is to say, stop talking about me or I'm going to sue you. Like my lawyer, one time I wanted to send a cease and desist to another creator because literally he did video after video after video saying that I abused my kids and that I did this and that I duct taped one of my children to the wall and that the cops were called on me. Crazy things. Okay. So I talked to my attorney about sending a cease and desist. And my attorney said, unless you plan on suing him, we're not sending a cease and desist because I don't, I'm not all bark and no bite. Literally, that's what my attorney told me. Like, I do not send cease and desist unless you plan to sue if they don't shut up. And I'm like, well, I don't know if I'll really sue because, like, I have 6 children and I can't really see spending thousands of dollars to shut someone up because I don't like their opinion and then not going on my family. So at the end of the day, I was just like, you know what? What he says about me is not true. I know it's not true. Most everybody else knows it's not true. And for those that fall for the lies, that's on them. I can't help it. And it doesn't matter. So I just was like, I'm done with it. But June, like, I was like, if you're going to sue me, whatever, she's like, I'm not going to sue you. I'm going to send a cease and desist. It's just a warning that you're going to sue somebody. But if you're saying you're not going to sue me, and it would really be dumb for June to sue me because all of my videos, like, are either my opinions or something that has been reported or something that sources have given me. And to sue for defamation, you have to prove that I lied knowingly and maliciously. And up until February 2023, I was all for the family. So it's only been a little bit over a year that I've been reporting maybe in not a positive light for the family. And even then, I can back it up with my sources. Like I can show where I've been given information. Obviously, I wouldn't out my sources. I would obviously make sure that my attorney kept everything confidential if I had to prove that I had sources. Um, but like, heck, look at Katie Joy Paulson without a crystal ball. Like, that woman's been sued so much, and she really does defame people. And people still can't take her down. They still can't win lawsuits against her, even though she literally says that people are human traffickers, waterboarding people, like the most. And nobody has ever won a lawsuit against her because it is so hard to prove defamation. You know. Um, Thank you, Danny. I do try to be. I do try to be very fair and kind. And like I said, up until Dralin ran from the cops and they had to do the pit maneuver to get him to stop, and it put Alana in danger, and I was shocked by that. Up until then, I supported the family and I covered them in a very like positive way. But that's when I started seeing, wait, this isn't right. And I was getting messages from people that knew the family saying, Alana lives with Dralin. She's been living with him. And I'm like, wait, what? She lives with him? Like, you know, yeah, I supported this family for years. It was only when I started realizing that, like, we were not being told the truth, that a lot of things that we thought were true were not true. And I'm like, you're on a reality TV show and nothing about it is reality. Why would June send you a cease and desist to you? I mean, many people report on June. I know that's what I said. I'm like, there's literally, I figured you would be like more upset with Dr. Phil who said, "It seems you only get in relationships with pedophiles," because I think that's what he said on the Dr. Phil show when he literally had June on. He literally said, "It looks like you only. It seems like your picker is broken and you only get in relationships with like pedophiles." Like that's Dr. Phil with millions. He gets millions of views. I have less than 100K on YouTube, and you're concerned with me? Why? Don't like if you think I'm lying. I my opinion based off what I read, court dockets, things that's been reported, and what sources tell me. I don't know. It's just kind of like the creator that used to do videos about me when I realized I am not going to waste thousands of dollars to shut someone up. I don't care that much. That's stupid. That is stupid to put, 10 plus grand to shut up a YouTuber. This is a whole big old world. Ain't very many people listen to me. I mean, it's a lot for me, and I love it. But I mean, it's enough to pay my bills or whatever, but it's not like I'm Dr. Phil. It's not like I'm TMZ. It's not like I'm some big outlet. So it would be, I don't know, I just feel like it would be really like ridiculous to blow so much money to just to try to shut somebody up. And then more than likely, you would lose because I don't defame you, and then you would be out that money. And I would probably countersue to get you to pay for my legal fees because my money ain't gonna be wasted. The only one that could possibly take KJ down is Jim Bob Doger, and I will be here for it, even though I don't agree with him and his beliefs or behavior. But we see. I do think Shin got some stuff on KD too, because she has made some claims that I don't think she can back up when it comes to the 7M stuff. Oh, Jim Bob is a devil. Sorry, but without Kaylin, there's no show. No one cares what happens to June or Justin. I've seen I've seen a lot of people say that. Like that's I've seen people say like in the comment section, like that's why they feel like June was so hell bent on June getting custody of Caitlin. Charissa, I like that name. Charissa, am I saying that right? Charissa, I like that name. I know somebody named Clarissa, and I like that. Most of us have opinions without platforms like yours. Yeah, and that's kind of what I started out. I mean, I literally just started out because I was a mom with 6 kids and my husband worked off, so I was almost like a single mom because he was gone so much, and I just took care of kids all day, and I was like, "I need something to do for myself," you know? Just something to do where I just kinda so I decided one night after I put all the kids to sleep, I hopped on a live stream and started doing makeup reviews. But then, like a month later, I did a video about Teen Mom, and it took off. And I was like, I was already a big reality TV person. Like I already watched a lot of reality TV. So when that video took off, I was like, I'm gonna stay here. Like maybe this is will do better for me. And I never even thought I would grow. I never thought a lot of people would watch me. I never, ever, ever thought I would hit 90,000 subscribers, ever. I never thought that this channel would be taking care of my family, you know? Um, but here we are, you know? Um, but I'm literally just a woman that was a stay at home mom that just wanted to have something that was fun for me to do after I put my little ones to sleep. And then when COVID came, my husband was laid off and my channel carried us. And we realized that it can carry us. And then my husband he went to school to become a software developer, software engineering, whatever. I think it's kind of the same thing. And he graduated, and then he decided to take some Harvard classes. And we homeschool one of our children because of health issues that she has. So my channel has really carried us. Um, so yeah, I'm not some big TMZ. Yes, Colby peachcourt.com. Go to peachcourt.com, and when you go there, hold on, let me show you. Yes, Caitlin will be with June. Okay. So hold on. Okay. Yes, she did. She was like, she's stated my like whole name several times, I think to scare me. But I'm like, I used to be on YouTube by my whole name. Like, it doesn't scare me. I know my whole name. I actually love my whole name. So saying my whole name doesn't scare me. It doesn't terrify me. The fact that you know what street I live on is a little wild, but still, whatever. Okay. So once you go to peachcourt.com down here, actually, you're gonna have to hit search by party name. Mine's already selected. Um, but it will be blank. And then you'll have to, it'll be like down here, search by party name. And then you just put in Michael or Cardwell Michael and hit search. You actually may have to register. I don't know. I think I have like a subscription with them to search for these. And then it's like right here, you find it Michael Carwell versus June Shannon, and you click on it. Now you do have to pay for these documents. Everything that like see the last thing that was filed was the day before court. So you can hit view and you can kind of see it, but you do have to buy it. So that's the thing. That's the thing is I've been covering this case and I have been buying all these documents. Like I've spent a fortune on buying the documents from this case. I also bought the documents from when Pumpkin got custody of Alana and their child support situation. Michael and Anna's divorce. Like I bought all those documents so I could, report on it accurately. Oh, thank you. Who said that? River. Thank you, River. I like the name, River. Thank you. Thank you. It says you have to, yeah. So to register is free, I think, but to actually view. But I will tell you, when you hit view to view the documents, if you can zoom in, you can almost read everything. But I always had to buy them because there was like multiple pages, and you can only see the front page just zoomed in. So to get the other pages, you have to buy it. Nobody leaked my address, but June messaged me and she like said my name and address to me, like my real name. Um, she was like, over on when the police come to over on blank street, and I'm like, well, I don't suppose you need my address then, right? Um, Anyways, you guys, thank you for hanging out with me. And I'm sorry I couldn't share this sooner. I have been wanting to give you all the information that I knew as soon as I could, but I've just been kind of waiting to get, what information I could get for you guys, and to make sure that what I did get was accurate because I didn't want to give you inaccurate information. It's still the information that I am giving you guys. It's not from the case docket, which is what I was hoping I could get it from, but it is from June herself stating on Facebook that court was over. June herself telling me in messages that court was over. Us seeing on TikTok that they have Caitlin, and then other sources that live in that town saying it is over. This is what took place. Anyways, you guys, you ought to get an attorney. Yeah, well, I have an attorney that's represented me in the past when I sued the police department. Um, because I had to sue my police department for a false arrest that happened. Um, so yeah, she's a civil rights lawyer though. That's mainly what she does. But anyways, you guys, I'm not. I mean, they can send me the cease and desist. That's fine. I'll just make sure I watch what I say, but I feel like I always do, and I'll just be careful because I don't feel like I defame her. I can't think of anything that I've ever said that would qualify as defamation, and So, anyways, good night. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you to all the new people in here. I see several new people. If you guys don't mind, hit that subscribe button on your way out and join us tomorrow because we're going to talk about Teen Mom Janelle Evans Eason, her baby daddy, and Teen Mom YMP, who moved up to Teen Mom the next chapter. Ashley Jones, her baby daddy, Bariki, Bar Smith, and then Nathan Griffin were in the same jail together. They're actually still in the same jail together up in Vegas. All right. In the same jail together. But Nathan is about to be sent to rehab, whereas Bar is looking at some time, you guys. So we're going to be covering that tomorrow. That's scary AF. I mean, what if she shows up at your house? Listen, my husband is ex-military. She can show up if she wants to, but I don't think it'd be smart. But if she wants to, she can. We can dance. Anyways, I'm just kidding. But my husband is ex-military, so like, share, subscribe. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.